What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at now. So we have a situation here with the next quarterback, Trevone Boykins. And apparently, apparently Russell Wilson invited him to his house for Thanksgiving. I guess he felt like Trevone was, a decent person that he can invite over to have a meal with, because nobody's going to sit down and eat a plate of food and share a meal with somebody that they don't respect or have, admiration for. So apparently this individual here decides to go on a podcast and talk out the side of his neck about what Russell Wilson had going on in his home at Thanksgiving, who was there, who was not there, things like that. And this is crazy to me. So we're going to see what's going on here. We're going to see how unthankful Trevone Boykins was for Thanksgiving. So let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Russell Wilson, I went to his house for Thanksgiving. The weirdest feel like he catered. So bro, I come from a traditional country black family.
We throwing down.
If I got as much money as Russell Wilson, my whole family would talk about me so bad if I ain't fly everybody out there for Thanksgiving. And I'm sponsored by an airline.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not close to his family.
And maybe he not. But his mama wasn't there. Sisters wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even though like, it still weird to me. I'm just still even if you don't food with your family, like it still weird to me on Thanksgiving. My family gonna do the food. This is what we gonna. If you the one with the money, we coming to your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me
that part.
That's what we gonna do. So to get over there and catch Russell Wilson, like him is literally him, Sierra Daddy, me, Noonie, Baby Future, the chef, and 2 nannies. And 3 dogs. And Baby Future at that time was bad as hell. hey, Baby Future, what you think? Everybody going around the room saying what they thankful for and shit. Like, Baby Future, what you thankful for? Oh, just thankful for. I think he said something like, he was a kid though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he was a kid. I think he a lot better than that. But at that time, like, bro was just, he knew, like, I think he understood it. Like, he knew he was just spoiled, just bad. You feel me? Like, who his daddy was, who his mama was, who he hanging around. Like, he started to understand. And so in that case, like, but then I leave Russ' crib, go to Earl Thomas' crib.
Earl, he's more family oriented because you met me there.
We all was home when I stepped off at Earl crib.
You understand me? Good food.
Spades,
like
we in there.
Shout out Earl, bro.
Area 29, bro. Shout out. I know you got the restaurant down there in Seattle, and it might be one in Austin too. Russell Wilson.
So this is where we at here. So he goes to Earl Thomas' house and things like that after leaving Russell Wilson's joint. And, they playing spades and all, now, of course, I grew up in the black community as well. Black folks, spades and dominoes, Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? It's like the end of the world with those 2 games. And it's a damn game, just like with some black people in gambling. It just is what it is here, man. But the whole thing of this is the disrespect and the unthankfulness that this man is on this podcast talking out the side of his neck about. When people invite you into their homes and they feel like they got enough respect for you to invite you into their personal space, and you go on out here in these streets and you talk out the side of your neck about who was there, who wasn't there, how you feel like you grew up, your family, this and that. And if you got that kind of money and you sponsored by an airline, and if you don't do this and that, your family gonna talk shit to you. Fuck you. This is totally disrespectful here. This is egregious that this man has done this after being invited and being trusted enough by Russell Wilson, Sierra, everybody there to invite him to dinner for Thanksgiving. You don't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Him and his side of the family, her side, whatever, they may want to get together for a big dinner for Christmas and just using Thanksgiving as just, maybe a friend's relaxation or something like that, or just a little bit of this and that. You don't know what these people are doing. And you out there talking out the side of your neck about other people's lives, man, and stuff like that. And you obviously feel no shame because you're not even shamed enough as a grown ass man to get online to talk about another grown ass man personal business when he invited you into his home. This is ridiculous right here. So we're gonna go here now, and we're gonna see what O'Shea and I mean not O'Shea. I'm sorry, not O'Shea, but you know what I'm saying, what Nightcap got to talk about on this situation. You know what I'm saying? Let's go here now.
Hey, I got a question.
Mm-hmm. I hope I got an answer for you too.
Why is he sharing the information anyway?
Cause, see, that's what. Not chat. Now you see why I don't have a whole lot of mofos at my house. See, he worried about somebody else's family. Your black ass there. He invited you. He looked at you like family. And what you do?
Turn around and come
got
and talk
diarrhea
about
of the mouth. You think you telling something. Man, I went to Russell House, that mansion, it was weird. Yeah, because he had an outsider in there. That was the weird part about it. That's why you don't let people come in your house, chat. Nobody. First of all, no. Me and my brother had money. Guess what Thanksgiving was always at? Granny's house. Even though we couldn't get back, it was always going to be there. When we had a big ass cookout, Ocho, guess where it was? In Granny's backyard.
Damn.
Why? Look.
I don't get it. I'm confused. Why is everybody always looking for a moment? Why is everybody always looking for a moment to go viral?
Because these people are irrelevant. The Trevone, the Trevone guy, he's irrelevant now. Let's just keep this honest. This is the first time I'm hearing of him at the Seattle quarterback. Now, you know, when he was playing, you know, I hear this and that, woo woo. Of course, you know, I don't follow sports very hard like I used to when I was younger, but it is what it is, though. So he's irrelevant now. And he has to do something to, you know, kind of be seen to a degree. And this was his moment to tell some shit that he had no business telling. I don't think anybody need to invite this Trevone dude anywhere anymore. He needs to be banned from the shit, you know, unless he going somewhere solo. Go somewhere solo, dude, from now on. Don't, you know, I don't think he need to have any more friends. He don't need to have anybody else trying to, you know, bring him into their lives and treat him with respect. That's ridiculous.
To get your little 15 minutes. He lets you into his home on Thanksgiving, a special day. Okay,
Right.
if the family wasn't there, maybe they don't get along. Maybe they don't see the eye to eye. I mean, I don't.
And I don't think that's the case, low key. Like I said, they could have been planning something big for Christmas, and you know, for Thanksgiving, Russell just wanted to hang out with Trevone and a few other people, and you know, Sierra dad, you know, just there. You know, it don't have to be people are having family issues. Now, I'm not negating the fact that there could possibly be, but at the same time, though, too, who knows what's going on? You know, all the speculating of what may or may not be. You know, it's ridiculous too.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, Ocho.
I don't understand. What's
his family wasn't there, but you was there. But you take this opportunity now, years later,
to talk about it.
Because Russ ain't been in Seattle for a long period of time.
Right.
And now you bring this up.
That's
because you try to, guess who was there? Sierra Daddy, Noonie, Baby Future, the chef.
Baby Future.
For the most part,
Jesus.
I have a get together. I'm catering it.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
I just don't get, bro. I don't get that. Why you put this man? This man invited you into his home. You tell him what's happening inside this man's home. That's what. See, and people are, man, you antisocial. No, I'm anti people running their damn mouth. Ain't nobody. That man invited you into his home. Ocho, I guarantee you, Russ don't invite a whole lot of people into his home.
No,
for the most part, they say Russ was standoffish. He's not. He invited your ass into his home. And the things that he get, no good deed goes unpunished. This is the things he get. I don't blame Russ. Now I see why Russ don't F with a whole lot of people. So I'm sorry, Russ, that you had to find out the whole hard way that some ninjas ain't ish.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yo, but it's the truth though. You know what I'm saying? Like I just said though, I don't think they need to invite this Trevone guy anywhere. Nobody does. You know what I'm saying? Let him hang out there in the wind. Him and his quarterback ass skills. You know, I mean, shit, man, this is crazy, bro. People invite you into their home, you know, have the level of respect and care for you to bring you in, definitely like on a holiday shit like that. That's really intimate times. And you know, they bring you in like that, and this dude just talking out the side of his neck, just talking out the side of his neck on this podcast and stuff like that. Jesus Christ. Then gonna sit there and say he went to somebody else home after that, played spades, you know, normal Negro shit. You know, I'm surprised he mentioned dominoes. And you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, oh man, it was popping in. You know, we played spades. He had this going on, woo to woo, and all that. Okay, you know, every black man ain't doing certain things. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to appreciate your friends for who they are. You know, okay, you go play spades with such and such a shit like that. You go over to the Russ house, whatever. It's cool, laid back, stuff like that. Man, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's the disrespect for me. It's the fucking disrespect for me. So we're going to go here now. We're going to check this part out too.
Explain to me why there is this obsession with men trying so hard to paint Russell Wilson to be this horrible man when it doesn't give that. For Trevone Boykin to get on a podcast and tell the world that Russell Wilson is weird because he didn't fly out his family for Thanksgiving is very distasteful. This man invited you into his home. And now you're on a podcast talking about you had a weird feeling because his mom wasn't there or Russell's sisters weren't there. Did you speak to Russell about this before you even hopped on this podcast? Do you know about Russell's relationships with his mom, his sisters, or maybe even they had their own plans? Russell celebrated Thanksgiving with the family that he created. So I'm so confused why this was even a problem. This was such a non-issue. This really does go to show you that no matter what you do, somebody will always have something to say. You're talking about Russell not celebrating Thanksgiving with his side of the family, but what are you doing? You're hanging out with friends, house hopping. You're not even with your family. Horrible man.
Stop it. Did she just snap? Hey, listen, look, that was a great point of view. Great point of view there. Great point of view. He wasn't even with his own family for Thanksgiving. Man, wow. Hey, listen, look, yeah, she brought up something right there. She definitely touched on something that was very much true. I didn't even think of that. You know, listen, yes, he wasn't even with his family. He house hopping for Thanksgiving. Going to Russell's and then going to the other gentleman's house that he mentioned, where he played spades, you know. Normal hood shit. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not against the game spades. Don't get me wrong, because I play it too. I'm just saying though, you know, he on there, man, we played spades, we did normal black folk shit. This is crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
Than this. Trevone Boykin, or whatever his name is a weirdo. Okay, let me tell you why. Russell Wilson invited you to your house for Thanksgiving. He invited you to his safe space with his family, right? Because he thought that you were a person that he can trust and he wanted to, you know, have a day with you. Maybe you didn't have nowhere to go for all we know. Who knows?
Right.
But then you decided to get on a podcast and talk about this man's household. Okay, after he invited you in his home, you thought it was okay to tell the world about what you witnessed inside that man's safe space. You will forever be a lame, a cornball. And I was going to do this on my other profile that had more followers, because I know you probably would have seen it, but I'm going to do it over here because that is weird. You accepted an invite, then took all the information that you seen in somebody else's house and then started to talk about it on the internet like a bitch. You need help, my boy.
Yo, he definitely do. You know what I'm saying? And this is where we at, people. This is a sad day. This is a sad day. And I definitely, you know, get it. You know, we as men kind of have got on Russell Wilson's ass about the situation that he did with Sierra, marriage and all that type of stuff, you know, simp action, you know, whatever, you know. It just is what it is. But in this particular situation right here, when dude was definitely wrong. Russell was all the way in the right with this. He tried to invite somebody that he thought maybe was a decent person, over a friend, whatever. And it truly backfired on him. And it's sad to see that we as men are out here conducting ourselves in this type of way. We're getting on podcasts and telling things like this about our so-called friends or people that, Russell probably thought he was a decent friend or something to that degree, to invite him over for Thanksgiving dinner, which is the holidays are always the intimate times of the year, when families and stuff do gather and things like that. But he invited this man over, and like the young lady said, and also this gentleman here said, obviously whatever Trevone had going on, you wasn't with your family either. You wasn't with your children either. I'm pretty sure you asked children. So you were house hopping between Russell Wilson's house and the other gentleman's house that he mentioned, and playing spades and shit. And then now you want to get on a podcast and talk out the side of your neck about who Russell Wilson didn't have at his house for Thanksgiving. Why wasn't you at your home, sir, catering or cooking dinner? You said that yourself, I'm from traditional down south and this and that, and we cook and whoever got the money, we go to their house and we do this and that, woo to woo. Why wasn't you at your obviously I'm from my gathering information, are you the one that got the money? Why wasn't you catering your family's Thanksgiving dinner or cooking or whatever you want to call it? Man, this is crazy right here. This man talked out the side of his neck. He ought to be shamed for that. And I don't think anybody ought not even to invite him to even have drinks at the bar. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line. This is crazy out here. Stop trusting these